Hi everyone, my name's Richard. I used to live in Qatar. This video is about driving and owning vehicles whilst living in Qatar, as a visitor or as a resident actually. So I've done another video about Qatar, a general video on certain subjects, which you might want to have a look at. I'll leave the link to that video further down the screen. But this is specific about driving and owning vehicles in Qatar. So we're going to be talking about driving on the roads of Qatar. We're going to be talking about owning a car or a motorcycle in Qatar. And we're going to talk about accidents and how we manage accidents in Qatar. Let's take it from there. Driving on the roads of Qatar is no different to any other country. It's just as crazy as any other country. It's no worse, it's no better. What we've got in Qatar is an infrastructure of roads that are almost a replica of America, where they're almost like 3-lane or 2-lane carriageways on either side of the road, and the driving can be quite fast, so everybody needs to slow down. If everybody slowed down, there would be much fewer accidents within Qatar, and it's as simple as that. But it's as simple as that across the world. So this is not about Qatar. This is about being across the world. Everybody needs to slow down and there will be fewer accidents. So let's imagine we're driving down a 3-lane road. 3-lane on one way, 3-lane on the other way. I used to tend to find that the middle lane was the safest lane. If you drive on the right-hand lane, the slow lane, then to the right of that will be parked cars. If you're driving down that lane, a parked car will pull out and there's a good chance you'll hit the car. It's as simple as that. There's no rocket science to this at all. Nobody looks, nobody cares, they just pull out. And also, as you're coming up to junctions in that right-hand lane, other junctions that come onto the main carriageway will just pull out, and it's just hard work. So I always used to travel in the middle lane. Why didn't I go in the 3rd lane or the left-hand lane? Because everybody's speeding down the left-hand lane. Generally speaking, that's how it happens. Everybody's flying down that fast lane and right up to the car in front of them, flashing the lights to make them move over to the middle lane. It's, it happens everywhere in the world, but that's how it is. So, I find that the 2nd lane is always the safest. So the middle lane. If there are only 2 lanes, then the 2nd lane or the fast lane is the safest. But of course then you'll get the Land Cruisers coming up behind you flashing the lights because you're doing the speed limit and they want to speed, and they do speed. They fly. Yes, they fly. So no wonder there are accidents all over. And this is not just about Qatar, it's about every other country as well. So if everybody slowed down and observed the speed limit, accidents would reduce dramatically. But there's no major problems. I only had one little accident where someone nudged me on when I was on the motorcycle, and we'll talk about that later. But generally speaking, one thing I found about driving in Qatar is 50% of the time you're looking in front of you, and 50% of the time you are looking behind you to see who's coming up behind you at twice the speed. So just be aware of that. Everybody's in a major rush in Qatar for some strange reason. Everybody needs to slow down. There will be less accidents. Also, at the side of the roads, on wasteland, you'll see a smashed up car. Apparently you can't take photographs of those cars because then they go up on social media and it gives Qatar a bad name. Actually, it's all over the world. So, it's not just Qatar. Qatar's got the same problem as everyone else when it comes to driving in the 21st century. Yeah. Hopefully when we have autonomous vehicles and they drive themselves, all these problems will disappear. Come on, Elon. create the next generation car. Okay, owning a car. You can't own a car in Qatar unless you're a resident. And to own a car is very easy. You have a system, an application on your smartphone. I'm looking for my phone now. On your smartphone, there we are, bing, 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 smartphone, called Matrash. And you can then go and buy a car. The owner of that car will go on their Matrash and transfer it to you using your ID, your resident ID number, and it just transfers over to you. You just give them the cash, and you take the vehicle. If it's got insurance, that comes with you as well, because it's the vehicle that's insured, not you personally. The vehicle is insured, so you take the insurance with that vehicle. So that's fairly easy. If it's a car, I believe it's either 2 or 3 years where you don't have to have an annual inspection. From that point, after 2 or 3 years, you then have to have an annual inspection. The annual inspection is called an istamara. The engineers that do that just look at the car and see if it exists. It's not really a mechanical test of safety. I'm just saying, from an engineering perspective, you know, it's just a bit bizarre. When you have got your istamara certificate for the year ahead, you at the same place of the testing centre, you can then go and get your next year's worth of insurance. When it comes to insurance for a car, it's for the first 5 years of the age of the car, you can get fully comprehensive insurance. After 5 years, you can only get third-party fire and theft. There we go. It's as simple as that. Fuel is very cheap in Qatar, and that's why they all have 5, 6, 7 litre engines in the vehicles. Yeah, and when you go to the fueling station, you can expect a load of guys running around, and they will fuel your car for you while you sit in your nice air-conditioned environment. Please give these guys a bit of respect. They are lovely guys, and do give them a tip. Yes, they are working in extreme weather conditions. Yes, so just give them a few real tip. Yeah, don't scrimp. The cost of fuel is nothing compared to the rest of the world, so give them a couple of reals tip. Anyway, servicing. I used to have so many arguments about people about servicing their vehicles. There's an understanding that in Qatar you should have your vehicle serviced every 3,000 or 5,000 kilometers. It's just not needed. It's just generating an economy system for those garages that are performing servicing for your vehicle. Look at the manual for your vehicle. It will tell you when it needs servicing after however many kilometers it is, usually 10,000 or 16,000 kilometers. Look at the manual, get it serviced as per the recommendation of the manufacturer. You don't need to have the vehicle serviced every 3,000 kilometers. But then what will happen is someone will say, but it's extreme weather conditions here. It really is extreme weather conditions here, yeah. Maybe in 1971 when engineering wasn't that good. But we're now in the 21st century, and engineering is far, far superior than it was in 1971. So just follow the manufacturer guidelines for servicing and everything will be fine. Accidents. Right, if you have an accident, you have to report it. You can't get the vehicle repaired until you've reported the accident. When you go to the police station, you will see a load of vehicles that have been in an accident, and they are horrendous. They are smashed up to smithereens. However, forget about that particular museum. Go straight into the police with the person that you've had the accident. And start explaining the situation. It is the police that will decide who's at fault, and once that's been agreed, you'll get a certificate, and then you can go to your insurance company. It's a bit bizarre because I was involved in an accident where my bike was slightly damaged on the exhaust. That's all. It wasn't major. I didn't come off the bike. Everything was fine. When I went into the police station, they said it was my fault. It clearly wasn't my fault. Clearly wasn't my fault. And he said, no, he's, looked at me, your fault. And then I showed him a video that I captured at the accident, which had the guy who hit me admitting that it was his fault. And then in this police officer's world of logic, he just simply turned to the other guy and he pointed at him and he said, it's your fault. I don't understand the logic there, but that's the bizarreness of how it works. So if you are involved in an accident and it's clearly not your fault, get the other person to admit it using your smartphone by creating a video, to say, get them to admit that it's their fault, and then you can show that to the police officer at the police station, and then you can then go through the insurance. An insurance claim takes a long time. It's painfully long. However, once they've got through that process of deciding what to do next, which for my motorcycle took about 3 months, your vehicle will then get collected and it will go in for repair. Do not expect the same level of quality on the repair as you may well find in, let's say, America or the UK. It won't be. Ultimately, what they did with my brand new motorcycle is get a hammer and just hammer back the exhaust, and it looked a mess. It looked an absolute mess. But so when you damage a Range Rover and it comes back and it's not as brand new and pristine as you thought it should be, that's because the guy that's repairing it is just using a hammer and a screwdriver and all that kind of rubbish, and no one cares, that, which is really sad. It's really sad, but I'm just setting your expectation here. For those that fancy Range Rovers, getting a loan for that is easy. You just go to the bank and they'll give it you. I don't know why you need a Range Rover, but Range Rovers and Land Cruisers and all that kind of things are the hit things over there. But just remember, your job can stop as quickly as that, and then you have to sell your vehicle and then pay off the loan. You can't leave the country with a loan or a debt. So you're gonna have to sort that out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. If you did, press the like button. Do subscribe. There'll be future videos on Qatar and other aspects of Qatar in the near future, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Thank you.